Prabhu brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy. Where has such a personality as Advaita Acharya gone? Where are his Rupa Damodara and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatana? Where is Raghunatha Dasa, the savior of the fallen? Where are the Raghunatha Bhatta and Gopala Bhatta, and where is Krishna Dasa Kaviraja? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottama Dasa simply weeps. So this bhajan is written in the mood of separation from all of the great acharyas, and it is sung on the disappearance day of acharyas.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's Mataji's Dandal Pranam, all of you are coming to the Sunday class today. I know there is World Cup final going on, but still you chose to come to the center and the service of the Lord, doing bhajan kirtans and listen some few words from us. Today many devotees are not here, they are all on Jagannath Puri Dham Yatra, and His Grace Leelan Prabhu ordered me and Suma to take this class, so we don't have any qualification to sit here, but to fulfill the order of our Siksha Guru, we are sitting here to talk a few words, especially about HG Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. On 17th November, 2 days back, was his disappearance day. We call it Tirobhava. And that is why we spent a lot of time today singing the poem written by Prabhupada on the ship Jaladuta, and then Jayanilo, which we sing on that day. Unfortunately, that's a working day, so we couldn't come. It's a Friday, so we want to do it today. And now we're going to talk about Prabhupada and his life, and the lessons we can learn from his life, and the inspiration we can take from him to go forward. And what all he did for the humanity, and for each one of us. and how we can repay him or not. We'll learn from him. So a little bit about Prabhupada, his life we'll learn. I know you know, all of you might know a little bit about it, but we'll repeat it just for the new folks here and for our sake. And then we will talk about some other examples or annotations as we go. One question, Prabhuji's, Matajis, I have for you. Definitely we celebrate appearances, acharyas, right? They are born on a day and we celebrate very, greatly. And we celebrate Janmashtami, Ram Navami for the Lord's, the day he is born, and of course for Prabhupada and other acharyas also. One question might come in your mind, why are we celebrating his Tirobhava, disappearance day? Typically we don't do that. It's a sad day for us, right? The great acharya has left the planet. And actually in Puri Dham, they have made Chappan Bhog and a lot of specialities on that day. That's bewildering to a lot of people. Why are you celebrating with feast on a day an acharya has left his body? They made more than 2,000 items, Prabhuji's Matajis. Each one of them had a chance to cook and offer to Prabhupada. Anyone? Anyone want to take a stab at why we celebrate disappearance day for acharyas? We know we celebrate appearance days.
They are Siddha Jivas Prabhu. So acharyas, they are not from this material world actually. So their appearance also, their disappearance also. In fact, disappearance only will celebrate more grandly than appearance. Not like that, but they are Siddha Jivas basically. So they come, they go, they set an example. So for that we celebrate grandly.
Haribol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, they are not from material world, Prabhuji's Matajis. They are not like us, not like me. They are sent by the Lord himself to this material world for a service. What kind of service? The Lord sends his Senapati devotees like Prabhupada to help all of us get out of this material world, to help all of us understand the teachings of the Lord, like the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. And they come for a specific purpose, and they serve their mission and duty. They are gone to the spiritual world again. So, Prabhupada is now in another planet, another galaxy, another world, serving Lord's orders the same way that he served here. For them, material birth and disappearance doesn't matter. And it is us who weep, who cry on his disappearance day, because he has done so much for us, Prabhuji Mataji, so much that we cannot even value it. And so many devotees he has, thousands of disciples, and so many inspirational stories. Many of them met Prabhupada for like say maximum 5 minutes. Many of them. 5 minutes is their interaction with Prabhupada and their disciples for life. And then they can give their life to him. I was listening to a lecture from His Grace Amarendra Prabhu. He was talking about one person who met Prabhupada. So, His Holiness Indra Swami Maharaj, when he is a disciple of Prabhupada, he brought one French general, an army general, to meet Prabhupada. Prabhupada used to meet these big dignitaries like chief ministers, prime ministers, and big generals. And Prabhupada met the general very long time back when he's alive, and he came, he sat with him, Prabhupada nicely talked to him, and the general asked Prabhupada, if I have to read one book in my life, what should it be? Prabhupada without doubt said Bhagavad Gita. But Prabhupada, I don't have all the time to read Bhagavad Gita. I only have time to read one chapter. Which chapter should I read? The 9th chapter. Read 9th chapter every day. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. The French general left. He was not a regular comer to ISKCON, and he took the instructions and left, and nobody knows about him. 35 years later, His Holiness Indra Swami Maharaj with his disciples was doing bhajan and kirtan in front of a big festival kind of place, I think in France. and they were trying to distribute books, pamphlets, and all that stuff. But it is heavily guarded, and nobody is allowed to enter. Typically, Hare Krishna devotees want to go give books and do kirtans. They are not allowed. And guess who is the chief guest of that festival? That general, that same very general, 35 years later. He hears his Hare Krishna mantra kirtan outside, he looks back and he sees the same in the Dimni Swami Maharaj, and he has eye contact and he just face lit up, he remembers, and he asks the guards, I want to go. The guards say, no sir, it's security issues, no issues, I'll go. He goes, meets Maharaj, and Maharaj remembers him too. Says, Maharaj asked him, do you remember? We met so and so date. Yes, profoundly I remember. And he says, I got instruction from Prabhupada to read 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and it really transformed my life. Till date, I read that 9th chapter every day. That is the power of Prabhupada and the way he transformed people. And he met many people like that. There are so many stories that transformed people's lives. So as you know, Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Lord Narayan is the cause of all causes. He is the one absolute truth that is there from the beginning, and he is the one who created everything, right? And he created, there is a primary creation, secondary creation. First he created all the planets, galaxies and everything, and then he created Ambujanava, Lord Brahma, from his navel, and secondary creation, right? And he did all these things. And then he created, and there are people living with him in Golok Vrindavan, and there are obedient servants who are serving him, and there are rebels who rebelled against him, like me, who said, Lord, I don't want to be with you, I want freedom, right? And then he created material world, right? He created material world, material bodies, and then the laws for the material world. And he said, okay, go enjoy the material world. And then what he did, he cannot leave his children alone in the material world. He created Vedas. Vedas are the words of God, the instructions of the Lord given to us, so that we can receive the intelligence and revive our connection with Krishna. That is in Vedas. And this Vedic wisdom has been spoken by Krishna, Lord Narayan, millions of years ago, and then again succession was broken, and then he came as Krishna and gave the same thing to Arjuna. And before that he gave to the sun god, as you know from Bhagavad Gita. And it came through generations and generations and generations, through this succession. And Veda Vyasa has written down these Vedas more than 5,000 years ago, and Lord Ganesh scribed them. In the beginning, Vedas are a big chunk of verses, and he has split them into 4 parts, 4 Vedas. That's why he's called Veda Vyasa. Vyasa means splitting. Now, it's difficult to understand Vedas. They are in Sanskrit. People don't have time. You can't understand because they are very cryptic. So that's when Lord sends his devotees like Prabhupada to make us understand, right? And that is when these devotees like Prabhupada come and then they give us the knowledge. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurinmilitamyana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Gurus come and then they open our eyes lit with darkness. And actually Prabhupada appearance is predicted in many Puranas, in Padma Purana and Vaivata Purana. Lord Narayana was having a discussion with Bhumata, and Bhumata asks Narayana, I'm getting heavier and heavier because there are so many sins happening. How do I get relieved? And Lord Narayana says, one of my Senapati devotees will come to the earth to distribute his knowledge and revive the connection of human beings with me. And there will be a bhakti movement. And that is predicted in Vedas, in Upanishads. And that is already there in predicted before. This is Brahma Vaivata Purana, as I said. A great sage and worshipper of Krishna, holy names will appear to spread the chanting of Krishna names. in the form of Hare Krishna mantra, not only in India, but throughout the world. Paschatya Desatharanya. And then again, in 1800, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a great devotee, who is the father of Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, predicted Sajjanatoshini also. What did he predict? Soon there will be a time when chanting of Krishna name will be heard in England, France, Russia, Germany, and America. Right? At that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur both are so compassionate that they thought this Krishna consciousness should be spread across the world, not just for India. Because every living being is the son or daughter of Krishna. They belong to Krishna. So it should be spread all across the world is their desire. So what happened? To answer the prayers and the predictions, in 1896, Abhay Charan Day is born. He is a Prabhupada. Later he is known as His Divine Grace, A.C. Abhay Charan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In 1896 he is born to a very pious family. His family is a very pious family. They used to worship Radha and Krishna. If you go to Calcutta or Ultadanga Junction, there you will see the place where Prabhupada is born under a jackfruit tree. Now it is made a great monument, and you can see. And also, the temple where they used to worship Radha and Krishna is very nearby, still there. And that's where they used to go and celebrate all the festivals. Right? And from the beginning, he was used to worship Radha and Krishna. And he asked his father one day that he wanted to celebrate Rath Yatra. He asked for a small Rath. And his father is so nice to him. You should read him Prabhupada Lilamrita. He never scolded Prabhupada, Abhay Charan Day. He was very, very nice to him. He gave him whatever he asked for. Prabhupada used to ask, I need sports equipment, I need this, I need that. Everything that is asked is given to him. Prabhupada fondly writes in Lilamrita that my father was always very compassionate to him. And then he didn't have that much money though. His father didn't have that much money. So while strolling in the neighborhood, he saw an old lady who has a small cart in her house. And Prabhupada and his father went there, and Prabhupada's father asked, can we have that small cart for my kid? And that lady was so compassionate that she donated a small Rath to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada celebrated Rath Yatra in the neighborhood with his friends and with nice bhajan and kirtan and small prasadam distribution and all those stuff. So he had an inclination to celebrate Rath Yatras or to and then do these kind of nice things from the very, very beginning. And like everyone, Prabhupada studied in good college, and actually he studied in Scottish college, Scottish Church College. And it's an Irish college where professor taught in Irish English. That's why you see his language in any of the purports. It's very nice, the vocabulary is very good, and nice words are used. He got his English knowledge while studying in this college. But again, at that time, the freedom movement is going on, so he was also influenced by that movement, and he rejected that I don't want to take degree from this college because it is run by Scottish and English people. So he just rejected it, and he also got influenced by Mahatma Gandhi, and he wanted to join the movement. Actually, he joined the movement and participated in many activities also. So he was married, like a very, he's a Grihastha. So he got married in 1918 and started his family. And he started a company, a chemical company. He was a manager, just like anybody. You can see Prabhupada with his son and his wife and everyone in this picture nicely. So he was leading a nice Grihastha life. In 1922, that is the first time he met his spiritual master. So one of his friends pulled him into this satsang. Prabhupada was reluctant because he has seen many and heard many people talk, but he was not very comfortable with what they were speaking because they were not speaking the absolute truth. But he said, no, this Swami is not like this. His friend told him and pulled him into this. And we can still see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's house, and where he got his first instruction. That house is still there. You can visit when you go to Calcutta. And on the terrace, they used to sit and speak. And he sat, he listened to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for the first time. And Bhaktisiddhanta observed Prabhupada from a distance and told him, "You are a nice young man and you know English, therefore you should preach this mission of Lord specifically to the English-speaking countries in the Western world." That is the first and last instruction to Prabhupada by his spiritual master. And somehow he got connected that very moment to his spiritual master. And he remembered that for a long time. Actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the originator of Gaudiya Math, and he had many disciples. And he told many disciples of his own the same thing. By the way, it's not the first time Bhaktisiddhanta told a disciple of him to go to Western countries and then preach. His desire was to preach and give this knowledge to Western countries as well. So he told many people tried, many of the devotees tried to preach, but nobody was as successful as Prabhupada. In 1933, he took formal initiation, and in 1935, Prabhupada got very few instructions from his spiritual master. Maximum he might have spent maybe 1 day or 2 days, like 3-4 instances, that's all. Not much. In 1922, when he met him, 1933, when he took initiation, and probably in a walk in 1935, when Bhaktisiddhanta told him to publish as many books as possible, and when you have money and distribute. And Prabhupada took these instructions to his heart. That is how divinity is formed, that is how ISKCON is formed, that is how the whole life is dedicated to these instructions. He followed them so strictly. The first endeavor in this is running this magazine called Apt Godhead. And this is the first edition, the black and white one, that was run by Prabhupada. And till date, this magazine is run by ISKCON people. You can buy this magazine or get subscribed. And it is successfully running in many languages: Telugu, English, Hindi, Tamil, all languages. Very nice magazine. And in 1953, he started something called League of Devotees. You can call this as precursor to ISKCON. And then it was a forerunner for that, and it is where similar kind of minded people used to meet and talk about Krishna consciousness. In 1959, Prabhupada took sannyasa order in Gaudiya Math in Mathura, because he thought for him to be unalloyed to follow his spiritual master's instructions, he needs to be not bothered by anything else, and to distribute the knowledge, to write the books, to follow the path. He thought he needs this sannyasa path. And he left his family and he took shelter in Vrindavan, in the Radha Damodar temple. And I don't know how many people have gone. Anybody gone to Radha Damodar temple? Yes, many people. In Radha Damodar temple, there is a special room for Prabhupada, and that is his residence. He made his residence. Today morning I was listening to Samarat Prabhu about this episode. I will tell a little bit about it. There is a pujari in this temple that used to observe Prabhupada every day. And Prabhupada's routine in this temple used to wake up very early, and he used to go and visit all 6 Goswami temples from until 11 o'clock. He used to visit all of them, sit there, chant. It's a very good sadhana. 11 o'clock he used to come. While coming, he used to bring some fruits and vegetables, and he used to cook his prasadam. He used to eat only 1 meal a day in the afternoon and evening, if needed, 1 or 2 glasses of milk. And he used to sit and chant every day and then write his books in that room. And he used to tell this pujari that don't let anybody inside the room, because he is a sannyasi People wanted to talk to him every day and come and talk to him. He said, don't let anybody tell them that I am not there. And in the night he used to sleep for 1 or 2 hours. And this Pujari observed that, one night he was hearing somebody crying. So he climbed the wall to see what's happening. And he saw Prabhupada. And what is Prabhupada doing? Prabhupada is sweeping the courtyard of Sri Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. And he's incessantly crying and asking, Rupa Goswami, please help me. How can I fulfill my spiritual master's order of going to USA? I don't know anything. I don't know how to go. I don't have any knowledge. I don't have any books that I wrote. How can I fulfill this? I'm just sitting in Vrindavan, right? And USA is somewhere else. Every night he used to do that. He used to cry. And his sadhana was so strong, it seems. This is the routine. Every day this is what he used to do. And in the same room, he wrote the first 3 cantos of Bhagavatam. And that's when he used to refer to all the Acharya's references, and then he wrote in the Radha Damodar temple. If you visit Vrindavan, this is the must visit place. You should go see the place where he used to sit and led a very simple life.
It's very much like how it is.
Yeah, it is exactly like this. And one more thing, right? Prabhupada is sannyas order. It's a very nice place. He got a room in front of the Radha Damodar temple. He has a good sadhana. Why bother going to America? Right? Who will check? Right? That he took the word from his spiritual master. Who will remember that? Right? He could have spent nice time. He could have spent nice time in the temple only, chanting and doing whatever he is doing. But he was bothered in his mind that I have to do this for my master. And he was crying and praying. He used to go to all the temples and understand and ask all the Goswamis and all the senior Vaishnavas, how can I do it? There is strong desire, but we didn't know what to do. And he didn't have any money though, he was sannyasi, right? He cannot ask money, only if somebody gives, and that too he will use it for only legitimate purposes. And 1959 to 1965 is the time he spent a lot of time translating Srimad Bhagavatam. And I also heard that he used to go to Delhi to publish his books, because at that time we just got our independence, and there is a ration on paper. To print books you need paper, and that is not available easily. Only if you have some connections in the government, they used to release some paper. So he used to roam around and ask people to help him. So some government officials helped him to get paper. And even if you get paper and publish books, who will buy these books in those days? So he used to go and give these books to these publishers in Delhi and ask them, you keep the book, somebody buys it, whatever money, you can give it to me. Like that, he used to roam around in Delhi, Connaught Place, that area, distributing these books. And nobody knew the value of these books. Only 1 or 2 booksellers agreed to do that. So he didn't have much money to. And that's how he somehow could raise some funds, because there were some benevolent people who agreed to do that, and he published first 3 volumes. That is what he had in 1965. And he thought, now I should start my journey. Right? And how long it took for him to fulfill and at least start doing the work that his spiritual master told? Almost 40 years. 40 years Prabhuji's Mataji, he waited to this stage to go out of the country. And now how can he go? There is no money, to take flight or ship or whatever, right? So there is this lady, her name is Morarji, right? Morarji. And she owned a shipping company. And she was a pious lady. And she was helping sannyasis and sadhus whenever they go. Somebody said, if you approach her, she will try to help you. So he went and sat in front of her office for the whole day. He went at 9 o'clock. And she was busy, and she didn't, I think nobody told her that some sannyasi was waiting outside. Until 5 o'clock he waited. And then she noticed that somebody is waiting in the morning. And she immediately called him, right? Who is the person waiting? Let him come inside. And then Prabhupada, who is very old, and he went inside and told about his mission, saying that I have to go to America. And she laughed. Swamiji, you are so old that you are saying you will go to America in this winter time. It is so cold, you won't be able to survive there. And he didn't agree to that. He said, no, I have to do this. This is my order of my spiritual master. I have to go. And she said no. So he went away. Again he went. The third time, somehow Prabhupada made convinced her. And she said, okay, fine. I have cargo ship. Cargo ship is going on so date. I can give you a room and a ticket to go. Room and ticket are fine, but getting there, where will he stay? It's a new country, right? Where will he stay? What will he do? Again, some other pious person helped him. I don't remember his name, but his son was staying in Pennsylvania. And he married to an American lady, so he settled down here and he said, okay, I'll write a letter to my son. He will send you a ticket from Boston Harbor to come to Pennsylvania and you can stay in his house. So now everything is set now. He has a ship to go and a place to stay. And that is temporary only. So he left the country on the ship Jaladuta with $8 in his hand. $8 roughly from this money in this the currency at that time is 40 rupees. 40 rupees, 3 volumes of Bhagavatam, multiple copies of course in a trunk, and to eat on the way some chipped rice, potatoes in another box. That's it. He started his journey from Calcutta. And the ship traveled from Calcutta all the way down towards Sri Lanka, came to Cochin, and from Bombay it departed. So it's a 35-day journey from this Mataji. It's not an ordinary journey, and especially crossing Atlantic is notoriously difficult at that time because it is a very long sea and many people get seasickness, illness and all that stuff. And Prabhupada used to cook prasadam on the ship and he used to distribute also. So he gave prasadam to the captain and other people while on the way. And surprisingly, and then one more thing happened. He got 2 heart attacks on the way. How do we know? Prabhupada used to write diary every day when he is on the ship. He was the diaries. And on 2 days there was no diary entry. And the captain of the ship later on told when he was interviewed that he got 2 heart attacks on the way, 2 heart attacks. And he survived those because he had a strong desire and Krishna wanted him to go to the Western world to preach. And when he entered, and then one more thing happened. That is the only journey the captain recollects. Out of 50 or 60 voyages he made, that he saw Atlantic so calm. He never saw Atlantic so calm. It was like a lake almost. And Krishna arranged that for Prabhupada so that it is like stable. So we can have this journey nicely. And the moment he was entering the Boston Harbor, he saw the bleak skyscrapers and High Line. And he got so compassionate, and that's when he wrote the same song we recited first, being compassionate. Like for example, if you and me were asked to go to America first time, and we see as the plane is landing, you see nice New York skyline, you'll be so amazed. Oh man, so nice, this is such a nice place, these people are so rich, and they're enjoying. And Prabhupada saw the skyline and was very compassionate, saying that these people might be materially rich, but I know at heart they are very, very poor. And this is a godless country. And he was compassionate and said, how Krishna you brought me here, and what purpose you brought me here. And doll in your hand, make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. Yes, you are doing everything, I am just an instrument, and you are doing everything like everything that I'm going to do here is because of you. That is Prabhupada's prayers. He entered Boston. Yeah. So he entered Boston, and a ticket was sent to him to take a bus from Boston to Pennsylvania to go to this place of wife and husband who were ready to give shelter. Prabhupada is so nice, American lady, Indian husband, one small child. They gave him one room and place to put his luggage. And Prabhupada doesn't eat anything else than vegetarian, but they're non-veg, Prabhupada said, I need some vegetables, so they arranged him. And Prabhupada stored his own vegetables next to the meat in the same refrigerator. You can think about a sannyasi Maharaj who is such a staunch devotee of Krishna, sharing a refrigerator with meat-eating people, but he never complained. In fact, he cooked for them too. And that lady, Sally Agarwal, she was interviewed afterwards, and she recollected how nice Prabhupada was to her. And Prabhupada carried a three-carrier cooker which could cook rice, dal and sabji in the same thing. He used to make rice, dal, sabji and chapati. That is routine. And they loved it a lot that Sally used to ask Prabhupada, are you making lunch for us today? He never said no. He's such a nice person. He used to cook for them. But the back of the mind was thinking, how do I go from here? How do I propagate this thing? I came here from this place. So he tried to go to some libraries, give a small talk here and there, but nothing is working out. There were some sannyasis coming at that time, so they had some soft corner sannyasis, so he used to call for little talks here and there. Very few people used to come, but that is not what wanted. He wanted it in a big way. So he stayed for a few days and he said, I need to move from here. I need to go to a big city like New York. And then he comes to New York, no money in hand, maybe a little bit money that is given by them, right? And he wanted to sell those books that he has. So when he was giving those talks in Pennsylvania, he managed to sell some books and then made some money, like a few dollars here and there, so he can manage. And it's for winter in New York. You can see how Prabhupada is wearing cap and shawl and everything. And he was searching for a place where he can start his preaching. He needs a place, right? And he found a place backside of a store, and they're ready to give him one small room with, I think, a small kitchen and a bathroom, which he has to share with other people. Right? That is called matchless gifts, and it's still there. It's made a monument now. You can go and see that if you go to New York. And he started preaching morning 6 o'clock Bhagavad Gita class and evening 7 p.m. And he put some advertisements, so one or two people came, especially hippie movement is going on at that time, a lot of hippie movement. Hippies are these youngsters who are fed up with the government because they don't know what to do. They've left their families, they left their parents and society, everything. They're just roaming around. They're highly intoxicated, they take drugs, they go to these dances, and they have these music festivals they go to. And some hippies got attracted to Prabhupada, and they used to come to the classes and sit through his classes, and they got attracted to what he was saying. And Prabhupada said one day, if you want to continue coming, you need to follow some rules. He goes, Prabhupada, what rules? And Prabhupada said, 4 agreed principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. And they listened, and he said, no tea, coffee, no nothing. And they listened to him. 1 or 2 started, Brahmananda, and other people who started coming to him, and then they shaved their heads. And slowly it got propagated. And Prabhupada used to go to a park nearby in the evening, and he used to take his kartal and he used to sing 3-4 hours. And he used to take some prasad. He used to take rice kheer, and people liked it. People liked this, the bhajans he was singing, with the rhythm he is singing, and they used to sing along with him, and they used to like prasad. People used to come for prasad. Slowly, in 10 months, he had disciples who were following him, and they don't know anything. They don't know how to treat a spiritual master. They used to, sit in front of him with legs going outside in front of him, and they used to come with, non-shaved these things, They don't know how to treat Prabhupada and teach everything, how to respect a guru.
One of the disciples, he was very hungry. He took an apple out and he ate it, and then he said, "You want some?" So they didn't know anything actually. Prabhupada had this greatest austerity and task in front of him to teach them how to respect him. If not for himself, he wanted to do that so that people learn how to respect their guru. And also Sally Agarwal writes, once she took him to vegetable shopping, right? And he took some cauliflower and few potatoes and few pumpkin. And he came to the checkout center. And whatever the price was, $1.50 and all that. Prabhupada said, "This is too much. I'm not going to give you that much money. This is for whatever they said $1, he said 5 cents. And Sally Agarwal was like frozen, like nobody does that in that country. She's never seen anybody bargain in so, I don't know, so she was like thinking, no, probably he'll be thrown out of the store or something. And to her surprise, actually that person looked at Prabhupada and agreed. He gave the vegetables for the price that Prabhupada asked for. So she says that there is this movie called Acharya, right? How many of you have watched it? Acharya, right? So to make that movie, they have collected lot of footage and interviewed lot of people who had the amazing opportunity to interact with Prabhupada in those days, right? And that material itself runs into more than 8 hours of video. When I didn't know anything about ISKCON, I did not know anything about ISKCON. I watched all the 8 hours footage that is still there in YouTube. You can search like Acharya clippings or footage, something like that, and you will get lot of parts. These people, what they did, lot of footage were collected by a group of people. Main director was from that Australia, Melbourne, I think. And all these people kept all the videos in one place. And then they started looking into all the videos and editing and making, and they made a very short film. Actually, Acharya is a very short, 50 minutes or something, 56 minutes or something. But the footage is like a number of hours, 8-9 hours. And that footage is amazingly sweet. I mean, I strongly suggest that we should watch it. It's very nice. And in that, we see a lot of such incidents being spoken about by people who talked about him. At one point of time, he had to room with a drug addict, and that person was a very nasty person. As Prabhupada somehow stayed there for some time, but how much ever Prabhupada, mind his own business and tried to help him at times, and but one day he decided enough is enough. This guy is going to harm me without even wanting. That was, and he just packed his bag and get onto the road. So when we watch all these videos, at least without knowing this, I was watching this one, I didn't even know this one. So I was thinking, this must be a very great person. Then somehow I got Prabhupada Leelamrita in a PDF format sent to me by my sister-in-law. They were going to the temple, but they never told us about anything. Like they never tried to get us into the temple or asked us to come to temple or anything. And when I read that 5,000 pages PDF Prabhupada Leelamrita, I really, without understanding about anything that Prabhupada did, I was so touched. I was so touched. So Prabhupada Lilamrit is such a very easy read also. One of the things is you can finish lot of pages in one go. It's not philosophy, right? It's a story. So it's a very beautiful book we all should read and know about Prabhupada's days in America during the initial time, because it is unfathomable at that age what he was trying to do, the kind of facilities he had and he didn't have, and yet he managed to do so much. There is this one particular incident I remember. In the middle of the night, in this storefront, he used to sleep in the back adjoined apartment. Apartment is that's one small room and a toilet. A lady knocked the door like vehemently, right, like feverishly. So Prabhupada thought somebody is in great danger or something. That's why they are knocking the door. He opened and he saw this lady like almost half naked or something. She was intoxicated. So in order to stop her from coming into the apartment, Prabhupada came out, and that is a self-locking door. He didn't have the key in his hand. And somehow, somehow or the other, the door got locked. It's very freezing cold. Prabhupada is barely he was not planning to go out or anything. And he was barefoot also. So, the story goes, in that middle of the night, somebody spotted him. Krishna has helped him a lot. He was watched and protected by none other than Krishna. It can only happen when Krishna protects. Somebody was watching. It is so rare for that country. We have lived there for 13 years. Even in the middle of the day, in the middle of the road, something were to happen, nobody would come. And in the middle of the night, in the downtown, where Prabhupada lived, is not very posh or polished area. That's where all the thugs, drug addicts, all the people that you don't want in your life, that is their adda. So, there is an interview by a television journalist, and he writes a book on Prabhupada later, a small book, and he writes the brilliant master stroke of Swamiji, as everyone called Prabhupada, right, was that he chose a very underdog, downtrodden place to begin his preaching with. You think about it, if you want to start something, will you go looking for the best place or the worst place? He chose the worst of the worst place. Even then, New Yorkers couldn't go there. New Yorkers couldn't go there. And in a way, if you look at it, that really shows his dependency on Krishna. The Boro Kripa Koile Krishna is such a touching song. Very late I'm able to sing without crying actually after so many years. But every time I sing, it's very touching. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know anyone, and the mission is impossibly wrong, big and hard to achieve, and still he did it. So yeah, that's what I remember looking at the matchless gifts. If anytime you get a chance to go to New York, you must visit this alley, and it's amazing. Even now, New York, that surrounding areas like that only, you will see a lot of beggars, strange-looking people, and New York is pretty eerie to me. I mean, even after living there for 13 years, not in New York, but in US. One or two visits to New York still gives me goosebumps, and I still wonder how did Prabhupada live here?
Yeah, some more incidents I am remembering as he was speaking. There used to be couples coming to his class, boyfriend, girlfriend, no marriage concept. And many people came like that. Prabhupada saw in the beginning, he was patiently waiting. He said, you cannot be like this. You have to get married. And he married so many people. And those marriages, he personally cooked for 40-50 people alone with full feast.
Like 15 items. Samosa, kachori, rasgulla, puri, paneer curry. I mean, there is a list of things he cooked. 40 people. No compromise on the menu. And people would, after the marriage, people would eat nicely and trash the place and go away. And Prabhupada had to clean. I just closed the book at that point because I couldn't take it anymore. I mean, what kind of situation is that? And he was a great cook, right? All of the, I think we should learn all the ISKCON recipes because most of them are Prabhupada's recipes. Last two, just before COVID, 2019, I along with Anumataji went to this 10 days Vaishnavi retreat, and there Mataji, who is a direct disciple of Prabhupada, and she has learned cooking from Prabhupada, had come, and she taught us a couple of dishes. She's very strict. Mataji and me, we were supposed to make samosa, and we were supposed to put cauliflower and green peas in it. We put cauliflower first and green peas next. She said, do it again. Put green peas first and cauliflower next. So she sent us back. So we all learned cooking from her, and she used to tell. All the prabujis used to be worried about Prabhupada's health. He shouldn't be eating sweets. Oh, this is too oily for him, and all that. All the Matatis would feed him nicely. So Prabhupada, when a Mataji would be bringing him prasad, right? Prabhupada would wait for these prabhujis to leave. So one day she says, he was not supposed to, some prabhuji looked at the quantity of halwa she had in the plate for Prabhupada and said, we are going to kill him. And Prabhupada heard it from the next door. No, I won't die, bring it. So she was so sweetly remembering all the customs, and I could see, these are the, at least this Mataji did not receive much love and affection from her own family. From her own family, she didn't get much love. And the way she spoke about Prabhupada, I could actually see the kind of love he must have shown. It's impossible to just dedicate the rest of the decades that their life has for this man who is no longer with them. He's no longer watching out for anything for her, but Prabhupada is there in her heart. That's how I felt. So it was such a very amazing thing to see her speak about Prabhupada. Prabhupada would not do that. So for whatever question we had, like how much ghee to put, how much ghee to put in suji ka halwa, kesri baat. For one cup of rava, how much ghee should you put according to Prabhupada?
Maybe 1 spoon or 2.
1 spoon, 2 spoon. Prabhupada said, halwa should swim in ghee. So she said, she looked at our halwa, and actually we had put a lot of ghee. We were like, oh, we made some ghee, we made halwa that we only cannot eat. Like that we were thinking, who will eat with this much of ghee in it? And she one look. You know what Prabhupada said? Halwa should be swimming in ghee. Ours was not swimming in ghee. So they learned everything from him, everything. They used to say how to behave, how not to put yourself into troublesome situations, even if you are doing Krishna conscious activities. Everything he took care of them like own father. More than father, I think. More than father. That's how I felt. We had an amazing lectures from all of these daughters, Prabhupada's daughters. And all of them spoke about Prabhupada more lovingly than they speak about their real fathers.
One more incident I remember. So Prabhupada was teaching one of the Matajis how to make kachoris. And in the middle of mixing things, she got bored. She asked Prabhupada, can I go smoke? Prabhupada,
So what do you think a guru would do? Just take a wild guess. One, right? What did he say?
Prabhupada said, okay, go for a smoke, come back, but wash your hands and feet and continue.
He didn't say go for a sip. He said, make sure you wash your hands. And I can imagine Prabhupada must have been like heartbroken inside. When she said that, I don't know, it's like putting your heart in a mixie and running it like right? It's not even, I can't imagine if anyone, I'm talking about my situation, I cannot even be compared to the little pinky of like toenail of Prabhupada, but if say somebody says that kind of a nasty thing to me, the kind of scene I would create, or at least even if I'm not angry, I would take a woe in my heart that never look at this face again in my life, right? But for him to forgive, because see, I feel that even the Prabuji who etched Jagannath Baladev Subhadramaya for New Vrindavan. Prabhupada one day unannounced went into his house to see how the sculpture is coming along, right? And in the garage, the Prabhuji was doing the etching, and he goes there. Prabhupada goes there. He looks at everything is coming very nice. He was a super expert carpenter, and he sees that on Baladev's head a cigarette butt is there. What would we have done? We would have thrown fit. We would have screamed at the top of our voice, right? Like really, this is how we react in real life, right? Prabhupada didn't say anything. Very nice when we were going to finish it. And he said something he doesn't know that Prabhupada has noticed that, has seen that. And they come from the garage to the front door, and Prabhupada wants to take leave, and he says, why he took that, he had taken that cigarette butt from Balram's head. And he shows it and says, why do you allow this thing to be there between you and Krishna? This is the sentence. And that was the last time that Prabhuji smoked. People, I felt like parents who have this problem of children getting addicted to bad things should learn from this incident. The love and compassion has such a great power to melt stones. Things, people who you think that will never change, might change if we show that kind of a pure, genuine love and compassion. I thought. Yeah. So I just want to, this is my last incident I wanted to tell. This is from my own life, so you wouldn't have seen on YouTube. So, as I said, I knew about Prabhupada before I came to know about ISKCON. I didn't know about ISKCON, but I was hooked on to Prabhupada. This is the very reverse kind of relationship I have with Prabhupada. So I feel who got me to ISKCON? Actually, I think Prabhupada got me to ISKCON. Forgive me for saying that so audaciously, but it is Prabhupada. Actually, I didn't know about ISKCON. And how I came to know about Prabhupada was I went to US in 2001 after getting married. And we Indians, when we say yes, we say like this. Yeah, like this. In America, they say like this. So, in my first annual review, I got a comment in my performance review for all heaven's sake, right? That people find me to be a very tentative person. Meaning, they don't know whether I will do the job or not. Because I will say like this, no. So I was really surprised because I am not a very tentative person. In fact, I am the opposite. I jump to conclusion and I start doing things a tad bit too early. So then I realized, what is it that is wrong with me? Something to do with mannerisms only, because I am not tentative. So I searched in YouTube how to talk authoritatively. This is something like that. I put the search text. You know what's the first video I got? I don't know how, Prabuji. I don't know, to this day I don't know how. The first video was Prabhupada's where he is reprimanding, if you want that video. He is reprimanding a Muslim clergy and a church father, pastor. And the discussion of the topic of the discussion is meat eating. He just slayed them like they didn't know what to say. What, Swamiji, if you speak like this, we don't have anything to say. And Prabhupada said, yes, you don't have anything to say. You don't say anything. Because they said, you said body is, we are not this body, we are the soul. What is your problem if I kill the body? That clergy asked. When we kill the animals to eat, it's the body, no, I'm killing. And you are only saying we are not the body, we are the soul. I'm not killing soul, I'm just killing the body. So what's your problem? We can eat meat. So Prabhupada said, okay, I will come into your house. I will break your television. I will break every furniture that you have in your house. I won't harm you. I won't harm you. I will just destroy your house. How do you feel? I said, obviously I won't feel nice. Exactly. This body is the house of the soul. How can you destroy it? So he completely slayed him. So I completely forgot what I was searching for. What did I go to find and what did I find? I forgot about my performance review, what I wanted to do with it and everything. And I got hooked on. Then I know, who is this man? And it was very hard to understand Prabhupada for me with his strong Bengali accent. So it used to, my ear used to pain actually. What did you say? What did you say like that? I used to go back, listen. Then I every day started watching Prabhupada's videos. Yeah. So that's how, I got hooked on. And then I came to ISKCON. By then I already knew what happens in ISKCON, how did he start and all that. So after that, when I looked at ISKCON, it looked like a manifestation of the dream of the man that I was watching all this while. Oh, it is so nice. People are in foreign bodies. People are like keeping a shikha and they're wearing the thread, sacred thread, and doing so much of austerity. Like for me, that's the first time I saw anybody other than Brahmins, because I grew up in a very traditional South Indian Madhva Brahmin. If you go to Udupi, that's the kind of temples I am. That's the temple for me, Udupi kind of temples, right? Where there is a very strict separation between the priests and you, right? They look different, you look different. And here I was so surprised. And it was very relatable to me. When it almost felt like Prabhupada not just made Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam available and God accessible to us. This is how I felt. I don't know, without Prabhupada, God was stuck in a picture. It was beautiful and all that, but he was behind that glass in a frame. But Prabhupada made him come out. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so he made personal connections with everyone. That is the thing. And he made everyone connect to God as a personal connection. The two things he did, right? Krishna, he said, Krishna is there, standing there, don't you see? Why don't you serve him properly? He used to say. He used to say, serve him, he's standing there. Give him rice prasadam, take care of him. And he was worried. In many places, the deities are established and he used to leave to other places to establish deities. He was worried, how will they take care? They have no clue on how to do deity worship, how they take care. So the first time Prabhupada established Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, is one of the disciples, I think in New York, brought a small toy Jagannath to him and asked, Prabhupada, what is this? This is looking so weird and nice. This is Jagannath, where did we get it? So I got it in a shop. He said, there will be two more with this toy, bring them. Okay, here, there. And they brought. Then Prabhupada explained, this is Jagannath Baladev Subhadra from Puri, Lord Krishna himself. And that lady, disciple, I don't remember who it is, said, Prabhupada, this is so nice, shall we keep it in our altar? He said, yes. If you like it, you should keep, and Jagannath is very merciful. So they kept that in the altar and they were praying to him. And one day Prabhupada comes and Jagannath is not there at the altar. What happened to Jagannath? And he says, Swamiji, we thought Jagannath wanted some fresh air, so we took him for a ride outside. He says, no, you cannot take deities like that from the altar. And then said,
And
okay.
he said, if you want to take Jagannath, you have to take the rest of
Baladev and Subhadra. And that's when he thought, now I need to teach them Rath. That is when he thought, okay, if you want to take Jagannath out, there is a proper way. The way is to do the Rath. That is the time he said, okay, now let's carve the big deities of Jagannath Baladev Subhadra with a card. I'll show the pictures. And Jayananda Prabhu, he's the one who made the card first. And he made his card and then he started Rath. That is one more thing, that being in Andhra and Telangana or any of these states, being a pious family, I don't know about Jagannath until I get this con. Right? My grandmother went to Puri in her last days as a yatra and came, but nobody went. Nobody knew Jagannath existed. Nobody even knows that Rath happens. Once in a while paper it comes, but Prabhupada made Jagannath available to everyone. Prabhupada told everyone who Jagannath is and how merciful he is and how you can feed him nicely. As Suma said, right? So that's one more thing.
last thing is
Prabhupada used to be worried about deity worship because they don't understand the real intricacies, was his worry. Once Melbourne temple, he saw Radha and Krishna were kept like good 3 feet away. Right? And Prabhupada asked, what's happening here? Like, why Radha and Krishna are so far away from each other? Oh, Prabhupada, we thought maybe they needed some space. Prabhupada became white. Sometimes it's actually very cute that he becomes very angry also. He became very white. Why don't we put Radha outside the temple then? Then they'll have a lot of space between them. And then he wrote down, that night, he wrote down the specific distance that needs to be there between Radha and Krishna, how everything should be taken care, and he asked his disciple to make a multiple copies, send it to all the temples. So you can, I keep thinking how much details he had to think about. Like, we have so many things we naturally learn. Good thing about Indian upbringing is we know so many things very naturally. Like, for example, if we are cooking, we don't eat like that. South Indians, at least I have seen, we don't do that. While worshipping, you cannot touch your face. You cannot touch your face. You cannot touch your hair. There are so many things that needs to be told. And he did that. That the proof is the number of letters he wrote. Every day.
6,000 letters he wrote, total. And they're all archived. He ran the entire ISKCON through letters. Imagine that, like there's no phone. He used to write letters every day, receive letters every day, and all the instructions are through letters only. People, there are disciples who are not even seeing him. Some are indicated remotely, and they were running temples. And he used to write letters, how to do things. And they used to ask problems, Prabhupada, this so happened. He used to say, do this. Including business. How to do business, like say, if you want to get a temple, and then pay advance. He used to say, never pay advance completely. Pay only like 5%. He even knows intricate details of how to deal with the people, the so-called businessmen. So he just taught everything so well. One more thing I just can't understand and imagine is the paintings done by the disciples of Prabhupada who are Americans have no clue on how Krishna looks. At least we have some pictures, some Ravi Verma and so-called people. It's just Prabhupada telling them and they painting. Unimaginable, right? You feel the picture, looking at the picture, I feel that is real Yashoda. So nicely painted with Krishna in her lap. And so many Radha Krishna pictures, Ashtasakis, everything just Prabhupada telling them, and one, I don't know the lady's name, but Jadurani Mataji. Perfect, impeccable pictures. And it's all possible because of this, His divine grace, teaching them, and they are empowered too, I feel, because they are with them. And I feel so fortunate. They are so fortunate to have his association. So fortunate to have his association. So like that, in New York, he established secure devotees. With all his devotees, he established ISKCON. And they suggested, Prabhupada, let's make God consciousness. Why Krishna? So Krishna is God, right? God has a name, it's Krishna. Why not Krishna? They put Krishna consciousness there. And a lot of people used to work and then come to the center and give all the salary that they used to get. Brahmananda Prabhu used to do that, and not only used to do that. In this scene in this park, if you read Gilamrita, how it is explained so nicely. Every day he used to go to this park and do Mridangam and Kartal, sometimes Kartal. He used to be enjoyed by a lot of people.
And that central park, that tree, today has the name plate. Srila Prabhupada did bhajan here.
Then it moved to San Francisco. So a couple who were with him in New York said, Prabhupada, we are migrating to San Francisco. And they went and they established a temple there and invited Prabhupada. That is first temple outside New York. And then he used to go to these rock festivals. Because Prabhupada took every opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness. Whether it is some other rock band, he used to ask, just give me half an hour in that space, because he wanted to attract more and more people. So he shared stage with many big rock bands, and they used to come and hear Prabhupada's Hare Krishna mantra. Yeah, then after New York, San Francisco, it's Montreal, Los Angeles, Detroit, Boston, Philadelphia, Columbus, all these places. And Los Angeles temple has a special place. Prabhupada stayed a long time in the temple. It's a very nice temple actually.
And we went there, and Mataji, who takes care of that temple, walked us into the house and showed all the things that Prabhupada used to do, where he used to sit. Everything is kept. His toothbrush, his shaving kit, his soap box, everything is kept very nicely. And she spoke about him as though he is there. chair he really likes. After eating, he will sit here. He likes to sit here because the view here is really good. So she really talked about him as though he's there.
And she kept the place so neat. She didn't let us touch things. And very neat, and she wanted to make sure it was like kept like that.
It's very neat, but I use my hand and wipe that steps, the step staircase that goes there. I'm hard and afraid of my forehead because even if a dust particle is remaining which touched Prabhupada, my life would be improved. That's how it went.
Yeah, and this is the time he returned to India. After some time, he brought all his disciples back to India to the same Radha temple that he was staying. And then he gave a lot of lectures in different places and showed Indians that because at that time nobody was before he left nobody was listening that much. They are pious, but we follow Westerners. So when the Westerners came, people started flocking to
We call
Prabhupada.
them white elephants. When my white elephants dance, everybody will watch with them. So some of his unparalleled achievements. So, yeah.
Now I talked about those. In the 14 years, 15 years he was there, 108 temples are built in his foundation, 108 temples all over the world. He traveled, yes, 108 temples. He traveled the entire world 14 times. He was never in one place. Because one disciple was telling Prabhupada, I always want to be with you next to your lotus feet. He said, I am always moving, my feet are moving. How can you be near my lotus feet? What he said. Right. And then the literature he wrote, more than 70 books, translated into like 27 languages. By 1976 only, it was calculated that almost 55 lakh books have been printed and published and sold. 55 lakh. 1976. Now, I don't know how many, maybe crores and crores of books. Right? 6,000 letters that he wrote, archived, and preserved. Even now, we can read all of those things. Right? So many things he gave. How to do distribution, how to do prasadam, how to distribute prasadam, how to do deity worship, Ratha Yatras. And one thing that amazes me is the temple structure and architecture. Wherever temple, whichever temple you go, you will see the same architecture, wide open, sanctum sanctorum, everybody can see the Lord, and it's very opening, welcoming to people, very beautiful deities. ISKCON is known for that. People come to see Radha Krishna. Beautifully decorated. He taught how to do that. And very pleasant. You go sit there, nice kirtans and bhajans are going on all the time. And I would say he had a blueprint of managing ISKCON. He knows prasadam has to be opulent, very nice. People are getting attracted. Even now, things happen right in our eyes. And then people then come and sit for a lecture for a few minutes. Next week they'll come again to prasadam, 10 minutes. Third week, 15 minutes. Fourth week, the pujari will bring something from the back side and say, special prasadam for you. Fifth week, they'll keep coming again and again. They'll sit throughout the lecture and then they'll ask for seva, service. This happened many times. So the temple structure, architecture, the way you get introduced, devotee care, prabuji Mataji. Prabhupada said devotee care is very important. Even if you are doing aarti, somebody comes, Prabhupada used to say you should go and welcome him very nicely. And that's something that people feel very nice. When you go to a temple, somebody comes and makes you sit nicely and asks them how things are going. Right? People really like that connection. And out of all the things, he taught us the purpose of life. Period. There is nothing else. Why you are born here as a human being? What is the purpose of life? Giving us the details of that and what we should do as a human being. Difference between us and animals. As SR course we are doing, things like the Prabhupada. Right? Singing bhakti parties were introduced by him. In US, Tamal Krishna Goswami is the originator of singing bhakti parties. They used to go there, sing that. Now also they do that. This is the Hare Krishna movement bus party they used to go. In India they do that. Nagar Sankirtan is started by Prabhupada. and the kind of disciples he made, Henry Ford, George Harrison, retail person, right? And George Harrison once said, Prabhupada, I will join ISKCON and I will leave everything. I said, no. You sing Hare Krishna in your way and attract more fruits. That's what he wanted. He wanted each and every one of us to be in the same position and attract more people. Right? Use Krishna consciousness in your day-to-day life. Yukta Vairagya, utilize it. Right? 2,200 recorded lectures. That is one thing that I really am indebted to all the foreigners, which preserved his lectures using dictaphone, and they recorded and kept them. I know we have this nice instrument where it plays. It has so many lectures, songs, bhajans, because they did record with high quality. That is available to us. 1,300 morning walk talks. You should listen to them. Of course, Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Specifically, he made it available so that the only one and only reason for that is to publish books. It is completely separate from the temple. The only mission of BBT is to print books and print books. Bhaktivedanta Institute, the restaurant chain Govindas is also Prabhupada's idea to have nice prasadam available to everyone. Sunday Love Feast, the one that we are going to have very soon, is Prabhupada's idea to make people come on a Sunday nice history lecture and have nice offering. Prabhupada's idea too.
Steve Jobs will also go for the Sunday feast today.
Who?
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, so Steve Jobs' stories, he told in one of the convocation lecture that whenever he needed good ideas or brainstorming, he used to go to Hare Krishna Prasad. From his place where he used to stay, he used to go eat prasadam, and then he used to say next day morning I had super cool thoughts about innovation. And he was telling it very well. Goshalas and farm communities, he taught us how to live simply and high thinking.
Actually, that shows the power of prasadam. I use that anecdote in workplace one day. What you eat really decides what you become. Right? He didn't know that it was prasadam and all that, but all he knew was he was such a sensitive, intelligent man that he knew his own difference between when he ate Hare Krishna food, that's what he used to call Hare Krishna food, versus he ate something else. He said, whenever I ate Hare Krishna food, my brain used to be very sharp. He says that in a university convocation, and it's part of his autobiography, Steve Jobs' autobiography. Yeah, so you might have known, until a few years back, number of Hare Krishna devotees in Russia outnumbered the number of Hare Krishna devotees in India. Now India is picked up. India ISKCON is doing very well. Even Hare Krishna devotees number is going up. And Russia, Prabhupada visited only for 1.5 days. He had to be whisked away from the country because there was a rumor that KGB was hunting down for him. KGBs are sleuths. Yeah, they are the underworld dons or whatever. So, just by visiting a country for 1.5 days, how can you make that many devotees? And when we went newly to US, we went to, in the first year, we went to a Thanksgiving dinner. And I took idli and chutney for them because I thought, everybody told me that they don't like spicy food and all that. I thought idli is the best food for them then. And some other Russian couple came and they got something in their box. You know what it was? A dish made out of cow tongue. Cow tongue. Tongue. The reason I say this is, you put this together, cow tongue eaters and teaching mission in Russia, I always thought about that couple who got that box to the table. After we sat at the same table, we'll speak so cringe, but you must have done.
Russian state does not start without Red Meat.
Yeah.
That's a delicacy for them. That's why they got the thanks.
A series of vegetarian restaurants. Going has talked about this love place. And then farm communities. And yeah, political system. Yeah. And there are a lot of interviews of these kids who now have kids. Actually, they have their second generation going on now. And if there are interviews of these kids who have grown up and have grandchildren now, what all happened after that, right? People left, some people left, their children left, Krishna consciousness. But in the end, everybody has come back. That's what they say. They go explore, figure out and all that for whatever reason, because there is no, the charishma that Prabhupada had. Maybe some people miss it, and everybody misses it, but maybe some people will only need him, kind of a thing, but they come back.
Not only were heartbroken and Prabhupada left this world, they could not take it because they were so intimately associated with him that nobody else could fill the gap. But because of the instructions, the GBC came together, they all worked together with his disciples, and they managed to bring it back and bring back the people who are left ISKCON.
Food for life.
Yeah, Prabhupada said, no kid in a 10-mile radius of an ISKCON temple should go hungry. And this is the thing that is formed. And everywhere they will distribute food. Free food actually. In Seattle also, there is a vegetarian free truck that Haridas Maharaj takes. Every week, 3 days, they make these nice wraps, chapati and vegetable curry inside, very nicely. And they wrap it in aluminum foil and then hand it over. Many people come and take it, and they will wait for the truck to come. University district, some place, other place, and very and then politely and dignity with dignity they give it. Very, very well. And Seattle temple serves full meals all day. Typically, when you go, they give Drona Prasadam, right? Little bit. No, it's not like that. That temple, whenever you go, full meals, rice, dal, chapati, sweet, then they serve.
When we were going to the temple newly, Praveen asked the Prabuji there, why are you distributing full meals to these rich people?
Who are coming in BMW and Benz? Why do you need to give them prasadam?
For free.
For free.
So Prabhuji said, you think they are rich. We know that they are very poor inside.
They don't have anybody to talk to. People in US specifically, the family relations are so weak that outside they look fine. They go in these big cars and do a lot of jobs and all that. Nobody to talk to. They look forward to going to temple and talking to somebody. They're very empty in their hearts.
We talk about books. We talked about.
Many people praise the Bhagavad Gita as it is written by Prabhupada. Eminent scholars from foreign universities. This is the book that everybody should read. Yeah, this is one Harvey Cox, world-renowned professor of religion in Harvard. He will be there in the backside of Bhagavad Gita.
He was very frugal. If spending a penny, he would think a lot. Even when he had a lot of money,
There's an incident that Leela Prabhu says all the time. He visited Delhi temple once. After a long time was coming, and people were waiting eagerly to welcome him. And they were waiting at the door, and they thought Prabhupada will come and do the aarti. Prabhupada came, everybody welcomed him, he ran to the kitchen first. And he said, okay, who is cooking here? Prabhupada, I am cooking. Okay, where did you buy these vegetables? Because I bought them in this shop. No, you should go to this mandi in this Kannad place. You get it for very cheap. Don't waste money. So that thought is Prabhupada's thing. He wants to make sure every penny is utilized nicely, and that is the care and attention he has.
Yeah, and he turned hippies to happies. This is the famous line, right? He turned hippies into happies. Yeah. Again, the biggest gift is that he gave us all the realization about the true purpose of human life. So his entire life was exemplary, right?
And in November 1977, he left his body, and he taught all of us how a devotee of Lord should leave his body. Until the last breath, he was translating Bhagavad. Even the last breath, you can see the video, you can search on YouTube. Disciples will be, rubbing his hands and like his head and everything, and he was still dictating very weakly, but he was still doing that until the last minute microphone.
In fact, his last sentence was everything moving and not moving is Krishna. And knowing that is Krishna consciousness. That was his last sentence.
Jai.
Yeah.
Prabhupada Samadhi. So that's the end of the presentation. But there is one thought for all of you to take back is think what Prabhupada has given and what you can do from the you. I think personally that I cannot give back anything to Prabhupada. I don't have the qualification, but at least I can do what I can do in my jurisdiction. I can learn Prabhupada's scriptures, take them forward, preach wherever you can preach, follow the instructions, be Krishna conscious.
Where you cannot reach, share prasadam.
Yes, where you cannot reach, share prasadam.
So we have right across the road, we moved to a new house just 2 months back. We have another person moved just in front of us. And we started doing Sunday program, Sunday preaching morning. Since today's was the third session. We called those people also. So he said, Praveen, Praveen, your foundation is spirituality. My foundation is science. I won't be able to come to your classes.
They're nice people though.
They're very nice people, very nice people. They're Sattva, you can say that. But we didn't want to push, right? So we left it. Today. So every Sunday we cook prasadam. Actually, for 2 Sundays we both only cook for 45 people breakfast prasadam. And after the class, after everybody had, I would take it in hot box and give it to them. So today also I went and gave the prasadam. And that guy asked her, "Do you have Telugu Bhagavad Gita?"
Very good.
Yes. Whatever language you want, 56 languages. So it really works.
Yeah, it really works. First, have faith and take it forward. Do book distribution. Go for bhajans and kirtans. Serve devotees, as Prabhupada said. In any way or form you can. And think just once, if Prabhupada is not there. I just thought, what would have been my life? It's nothing, it's just complete utter darkness. I would be doing some nonsense things, weekends, not knowing what to do.
It would be full of stupidity.
Stupidity and nonsense, nothing more than that.
And whenever I feel down, I remember Prabhupada's 170 mm smile. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have just. He laughs very light-heartedly and very deep smile. That really lights up. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much,
We are
Prabhuji,
so
Mataji.
utterly unqualified to talk about Prabhupada, but you all, despite knowing all the information, you still sat and listened to us as though you are listening for the first time. Can't thank you enough for your audience.
Thank you very much. Hari
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. So we will Damodarashtakam and Narasimharti and then Prashadam.
There are so many things new things we learn.
Do we have enough DLs? No, do we have enough DLs for the No, wait, question. What do you want?
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुलरं गोकुले विराजमानम्
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुलरं गोकुले विराजमानम्
Please go one by one and offer dance.
idam te mukhamodam yantarilai dukam kundalai sri astai sarokya Namo Deva Damodara Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodhu Bhajarabhimanam Kripadeshti Vishyati Priyam Bhadano Grihadeshta Mahanyami Gachibesha Veratmajaugatha Bhutaivalatva Prayamo Bhakti Sadau Sitausha
प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ नमो ग्रहो मे श्री दामोदरेह प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ मोक्षे ग्रहो मे श्री दामोदरेह
नमस्ते तुझामे गोदरी पितामे त्वदीयोद्धराय विश्वस्य धामे
नमस्ते सुरामे सुररिपिधामे सदीयोदराय च विश्वस्य धामे
नमो राधिकाय स्वाधियाय विधायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय सोत्रम्
नमो राधिकाय स्वस्य प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय
नमो राधिकाय स्वाधियाय विधायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय सोत्रम्
नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
सत्यप्रभु नरसिंह नमस्ते सर पढ़ता नमस्ते नरसिंह
पाड़े प्रभु जाते
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय हिरण्याकाशी नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये
तव करकमलवरेणका अद्भुतसिन्धा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुजुन्ता केशवलीला हरिरूपा जय जय हरे
तव करकमलवरेणका मधुदशृङ्गा प्रदिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुबिन्दा केशवलीला नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह रे नरसिंह रे जय नरसिंह रे
जय
जय कलात्मरा जय कलात्मरा जय जय प्रभुपा 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 जय जय प्रभुपा
जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल
भगवान की
जय
गुरुहर महाराज की
जय
कार्तिक दामोदर की
जय
अनंत वैष्णव कोटि की
जय
हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की
जय
हरित पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की
जय
श्री प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परम सुपरराजिकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत सहस्र हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परम सुपरराजिकाचार्य हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्यामकुंड राधाकुंड गिरिगोवर्धन की नारदीन धाम मायापुर क्षेत्र की पुरुषोत्तम धाम पुरी क्षेत्र की वृंदावन धाम की गंगे माई की यमुने माई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी की all glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय।
गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि बोल।
Everybody please proceed to prasadam.
महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नमो ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्पपुण्यव्रतं राजन् विश्वासो नैव जायते शरीरविद्याजा जडेन्द्रियाता हे काल जीवपेद विश्वसागरे तार मध्ये जीवती लोभमाय सुदुर्मती ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ दयामय करी बारे जीवा जय से प्रसाद नामृत भावो श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमिना तो श्री सच्चन निताय जय दिमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय हरि बोल।